Welcome back to the Super Sentai Kamen Rider Special. Yep, we have another one of these. Pretty much like I previously said in the last one I did, which was a while ago when I reviewed Tokuger. The purpose of these specials is to basically review stuff like the Tenchi movies without having to review for both different series. This one we're discussing basically the second ever crossover special between a Sentai series and a Kamen Rider series. Last one discussed was the cross between Tokuger and Kamen Rider Game. This one is a crossover between Ninninger, the Sentai I'm currently reviewing, and a very interesting Kamen Rider one where this rider drives a car instead of riding a motorcycle. Kamen Rider Drive, which, fun fact, now I thought basically the main actor himself basically was a student of, I mistakenly said in a previous video when I was talking about Magiranger, that I thought it was the Drive's main actor was Magi Shine, the guy who became an actual teacher in real life, where Drive was one of his former students. That's actually incorrect. It was actually, I was right about it was one of the actors from Drive. I mistakenly thought it was Drive himself, but it was actually Kamen Rider Mech. He actually is one of Magi Shine's students. The actor who played him anyways. Yeah, that's my apology for not doing enough research on it. So, we start off with basically where one of the yokai from the main series, excuse me, we have Izoya, where basically he is working with the villains of Drive, the Romanies. That's the name of the villains of the series. Where he's working with three of them: Heart, Brain, and Medic. Heart is Rodma 2. Brain is Rodma 3, and he's a bit of a dick. And Medic, their appearances in the movie are basically nothing more than cameos. Like, unless you have watched Kamen Rider Drive, if you watch this one, you're like, who the heck are these three random people that Auxilia is working with? Well, they're villains from, well, basically they don't do anything at all. There's mentions of them throughout the whole special, but these guys don't do anything. So, we also have supposedly a yokai attacking people who's got tires for some reason. Now, that basically is something interesting. And also, he proceeds to try this. First, there's Gup at the Ninja Hunters when they show up, and because he's a yokai. And then he proceeds to slow down time, which apparently is a no-no in Drive for some reason, because not only the time is restored, here comes drive me up in his car. This is the first time I've ever seen Drive in motion. I've only seen maybe a picture of Drive. I've never actually seen him in motion before. I love his car. Nice, cool red car. Like, who would have thought? Now, technically, I should point out, though, he is not the first one to have a car as a vehicle he can drive. RX was the first one, but he's the first one where its primary vehicle, it's a car. I guess the reason why they did that is because they wanted to do something different. Let's have Kamen Rider drive a car and be a police officer. Okay. Interesting. So, he ends up fighting the ninja, gets out there robbing, and then, of course, his partner shows up, which later on in the special, she's jokingly referred to as Drive, but by the way, his real name is Sanosuke, where she is jokingly referred to as his girlfriend. Yes. By Taka. And this is Kiriko. I thought that was kind of funny. I'll get back to that. So, they're talking about yokai, and then eventually, Sanosuke just arrests Taka. Based on nothing. Because, he thinks he's a ramen, so I think there's no evidence to support it. And then after all disappear, they later get basically put into fear mode by, of course, our villain. And the creature is known as Babaru. Yes. So, and of course they old name and like the fight yokai. Of course they think that yokai don't exist, despite the fact they really do. And then we also see apparently like, oh, then he decides, oh yeah, I'm gonna make up my mind. Then he just drops a smoke bomb, leaves the interrogation room. Sanosuke basically wonders what the heck is going on. So he chases around, and of course they run to what appears to be their the main station room, where you have his boss, the police chief, arguing with the last ninja about the existence of yokai. By the way, the name of these characters. So, first we have the old man himself. Jun... Well, he's actually older. Jun Hangigi, I think it's how you pronounce the guy's name. Yes. He is basically serve as the... Basically, think of him as kind of like a police version of Tachibana. That's kind of basically the purpose of this guy, from what I can tell. Yes. There's also Rina Sagumi. Her appearance is nothing more than a cameo. Yep. No joke. She is pretty much just a cameo. Yeah. By the way, the actress is currently 43 now. So, let's see. So this is aired in 20... Well, she was in her 30s when the series started. Let's see. Okay, so 2015 is basically when the show aired. I think 2015 was when. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, actually, it was 2014. 2014. So she was 32 when the show started. So. Got ahead, so basically made her pretty. Yep. So, and there's also Kira Shoujo. Yeah, his appearance is another one who just a cameo in the scene. He doesn't do anything at all. And there's Kenshaparo Ota. Yeah, he appears a little bit in here, but not by much. Oh, and those of you who are curious, how long is Drive? 48 episodes, which is one episode longer than Ninninger. Yeah, one episode longer. He appears a little bit more than a lot of the air characters, so then the yoga attacks again, and and of course there's also this man with silver hair. Sanosuke insists they have to go out, but the boss like, no, we have to go out with Ninja because they're dangerous. Despite the fact they have no evidence to support it. Why? Because they're disappearing? You think that's because they're dangerous? My gosh, basically, the people there are so stupid. So, and then just by some weird coincidence, we have Sanosuke going outside to clear his head while discussing what to do. Well, actually, this happens later. So, then they are fighting two of the Roundoids who just made giant size. They summon their mech, defeat it, and then part of the mech disappears, and then the police officers proceed to arrest Ninjanger. They say for danger to the public, despite the fact they have no proof of that. I'm like, are the police officers in Drive ready to be so stupid to arrest Sentai? The Sentai Rangers? Yes. That's how stupid these people are. And then, of course, the Ninjangers obviously escape because they're ninjas. And so, of course, they try to investigate the whole thing with the man with silver hair. Who he is, I was surprised the fact they brought this guy back. Because this man has been fucking dead since the 70s. I'll get back to. By the way, the man with the silver hair is played by the same actor who played Red Racer from Car Ranger. Yes, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, really? They brought him in to be a Kamen Rider villain? Cool. I actually like Car Ranger. So, then of course, basically, like, they run around, of course, on the run for the police officers. Of course, Sanosuke leaves his belt behind. And then Kiro picks him up after, of course, they're attacked by the grunts from Ninninger. Because, of course, basically, we have to have this app. Because it's also happened in the previous series, too. And this is where Taka makes a joke about Kiro being Sanosuke's girlfriend. And then, of course, we also have the subplot, which basically leads into the tension, which I'm probably going to discuss next anyway, so I really want to watch that. Where we have Commander Mech here, who wears this all-white suit. Reminds you of a Sentai character. I do love the look of him. He looks amazing. His name is Go Sidra. Though for some reason the sub pronounced him as Gao for some reason. And apparently, get this, he is Kiro's younger brother. You're like, really? Yeah, really. He's a photographer. And I look at the design of this suit. He reminds me a lot of a little bit of the lead from Senkaiger. Because I saw his suit, and this guy looks very similar to that, the same color design. Where all of a sudden he's confronted by a man who identifies himself as Kamen. Now I mentioned, halted by Kamen Rider. It's like, oh yeah, we're good here. Basically, we just mech and drive. The guy identifies himself as Kamen Rider 3. You're like, what? Kamen Rider 3? Yeah, he's an original character here. This is where he makes his debut in this thing. He's a drive character. So, and look at his suit here. It basically is like a modern day take on the classic Kamen Riders. That's probably what the purpose of the character is. It's like, and by the way, the suit itself, I remember seeing a picture of it where, of course, this is when they bring up, there was the first two Riders, 1 and 2. Yeah. Which, of course, basically, 1 would take a similar style suit when he appeared in this other movie that appeared the following year after this. During Kamen Rider Ghost, called Kamen Rider 1. Yeah. So, then they investigate this facility where, and they identify who this guy is. The man with the silver hair. He is Dr. D. I'll get to more to him in a minute because basically it relates to basically what's happening soon. So then they break into a facility. It's basically Taka, Sanosuke, Kiro, later joined by Kamen Rider Mech. Where they're in there and they're confronted by, I kid you not, I was kind of surprised to see this. Hitch a Chameleon, aka General Black of Gil Shocker. I'm like, what the heck are you doing here? Yeah, and then they're confronted by Turtle Bazooka from Destron. Yeah, of course they pretty much blow the facility they're in, and then they reveal what exactly is going on later on. So, like, this Eagle symbol looks very familiar. Oh, yeah, because of Hitchman's belt, because it's the same belt from the original Kamen Rider series. I thought that was really cool there. So, then we have the Ninja Hunter fighting, of course. Stop that, please. Thank you. Fighting Babaru. Yeah. Well, first, like, you're Dr. D? And, like, you're thinking behind this, but the person actually behind it is Shocker! You're like, what? Shocker? Why the heck are they involved with this? Because it's Shocker. They're like the biggest villains in Kamen Rider history. Yeah. So then I thought this is really cool. As a cool nod to the original Kamen Rider series, we have the belt Dr. D is wearing talking. Because the voice we're hearing is the great Shocker leader. Which is the first time he's been heard since the 40th anniversary movie O's Dano All Out Kamen Riders movie, which is to celebrate the 40 years of Kamen Rider, which I thought was so awesome. Though I should point out, though, it is not the same actor who voices the great Shocker leader. Oh no. Yeah, they actually replace him. Because here's the weird thing about it. So, the original actor who played the Great Leader Shocker did return for the 4th anniversary, which I thought was really cool, the fact he did that. O's, Dano, all Kamen Riders, Let's Go Kamen Riders. That was the last time he ever played him. And he gets replaced. The guy who originally voiced him from the original series, who came back this one, his name was Garo Naya, who, excellent job playing him. I really enjoy this character. I really love this character. So, with this special, he gets replaced by a brand new actor. This special was actually his debut as the Great Leader Shocker. You're like, what? Yeah, apparently he did appear in the 4th anniversary movie, where he played Ika Devil, Kamen Amazon, Stronger Kiter, and this special here was he did appear. Let's see. Basically, he's replaced by Tomosaki. That's basically replaced him here. He's the current voice actor for him. So there goes. Oh yeah, Shocker's behind this because apparently Dr. D wanted to basically like alter history. So they kind of explained that he actually died 2 years after Shocker's defeat. Which the theory is that he died during events when Black Satan was active. During Kamen Rider Stronger, believe it or not. Yes. Because Shocker was defeated in 1973. Because Kamen Rider went on for 2 years. So he died when Stronger was active. In 1975. And they explain how the heck he's alive modern day. Apparently the great Shocker leader who's somehow still alive, this motherfucker should be dead, proceed to save the man's cells and then basically reanimate him somehow. And then of course basically they battle him. Of course he'll be the one fixing all this stuff. By the way, there's a scene before all this stuff happened where Sanosuke goes to the dojo, which the dojo randomly pops up right after the PlayStation. How the heck got there is never explained. And he goes inside, and for some reason he does interact with the Ninninger in the scene here, which he sees them. They apparently don't know they apparently don't realize he's there. So then of course you have this massive battle, and of course the Turtle Bazooka and Henchman are killed, though we're going to get back to their appearance, these two guys. So then of course the other guys are killed. And then, of course, basically our main villain in this movie is destroyed by the combined efforts of the two writers and Ninninger. And with him destroyed, everybody's fixed. And supposedly they go back to a world, which they mention, World of the Kamen Riders. I'm like, wait a minute. This makes no freaking sense, basically, for this. Because when they did the previous special, Gem was basically it'd be in the same universe as Tokuger. And there was a disappearing there, but yet this one, apparently there is. There's also some mention about time altering here, which is more sort of for the next tension, which I'm going to watch that next, which is going to be quite interesting. But yeah, excellent special. I enjoyed this. It's like whenever I get to anything related to Shocker, I'm like, I'm interested. I'm hooked. You have my attention. Because I generally thought Shocker is quite far one. Anybody who's a fan of Kamen Rider, who has watched anything related to Kamen Rider, probably considers Shocker to be one of the greatest villains organizations in history of Kamen Rider. And I appreciate the fact. We also briefly seen during the battle sequence, randomly for some weird reason that because Shocker's here, let's insert the Combat Men. And you're like, what? Yeah. They threw in the Shocker Combat Men. Which I thought, that was interesting. I did not expect them to appear here. Which, you might be curious. When was the last time they appeared? Well, they actually appeared in the last year in the Heisei Rider vs. Show Rider Kamen Rider Tension Future Super Sentai movie. That was their previous appearance. Was that very movie. And then they return here roughly 4 years later. Yeah. It's going to be quite interesting to discuss the remaining episodes. Yes, it definitely will be. Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is... Excuse me. A Comic Corner, okay? Thanks, Phil. Bye.